What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey. First and foremost, shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day, you guys. If you got a wife, mother, everybody has a mother, but if you have one that you are in contact with or you see on a daily basis, please do something for them today. They deserve it. All right, everybody that has a mother out there, of course, understands or should understand what mothers mean to them. My mom means a lot to me. Okay, and then also prayers to all my family members up in North Florida who've been affected by the tornadoes and up in southern Georgia and Alabama. I hope everybody's well. I know everybody's still trying to get their power back, this and that, the third. I know there's been a lot of people affected by those 5 tornadoes they hit last night and yesterday. Yesterday, so that's a lot. But prayers to everybody. But let's go ahead and let's get into this matchup. So let's get into this NBA playoff round 2 game 4 matchup between the Denver Nuggets meeting up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. This game will be played at 8 p.m. East Coast time. The line did open up over under 204.5. Minnesota minus 2.5. The line has since moved to Minnesota -3. All right, so let's look into this matchup, you guys. All right, the Minnesota Timberwolves must have been full of confidence following those 2 back-to-back consecutive road wins at the start of the series. But now they're just hoping to bounce back after getting humbled by a tough loss to the Nuggets in Game 3. Anthony Edwards led the team with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in that game. Karl Anthony Towns had 14 points, and Mike Conley chipped in 10 points and 6 assists. As a team, the Timberwolves shot 43% from the field and 10 of 33 from three-point line as they struggled to match the tenacity of the Nuggets from the very start. Like, they found themselves in trouble, guys. And then when you talk about the Nuggets will be looking to square up the series after making it look easy against the Timberwolves in that dominant 117-90 win. Jokic led the team with 24 points, 14 boards, 9 assists. Jamal Murray had 24 points, 5 assists. And Michael Porter Jr., he did what he do. 21 points, man. He was hitting 3, dog. He was killing them. The Nuggets shot 53% from the field, 14 of 29 from three-point line, as they kind of set the tone early, holding the Timberwolves just 41 points in the first half to take a commanding lead at halftime, guys. All right, so let's really look at what's been going on in this series. So in Game 1, okay, Timberwolves won 106-99 in Denver. Denver won the first quarter 25-23. Denver won the second quarter 19-17. So Denver did win the halftime, even though I'm not sure if they were covering. I think they were. I think they were covering. It was like 1.5, 2 points. It wasn't much, but yeah, Denver was good at the half on that one. Then let's look at the third quarter. Third quarter, Minnesota came out, drug them to 33-27. Fourth quarter, 33-28. So it's really been how they come out and score on offense that's led the way for Minnesota so far this series. And Edwards, 43 points in that game. Jokic had 32. Key number is when you see Jokic scoring a lot of points, that means there's something going on and it's a problem for Denver, just letting you know. All right, so Minnesota shot 52.4% from the field that game. Denver only shot 46.7%. Minnesota shot 40.7% from 3. Denver shot 41.9% from 3. Minnesota turned the ball over 14 times. Denver only turned it over 12, but the rebounding battle once again comes key. All right, Minnesota had 42-34 rebounds, and the rebounding battle will tell you a lot of things about how these series are going to actually play out. So let's look at Game 2. Game 2, Timberwolves won again, 106-80, scoring the same exact thing again. All right, the first quarter, Minnesota won that 28-20. Second quarter, 33-15. Minnesota covered the first half. All right, then Minnesota drug them, or no, they let them come back a little bit. Minnesota only scored 21 points. Denver scored 25 in that third quarter. But then in the fourth quarter, Minnesota did what they do once again, 24-20, and it was a blowout anyway by then. So the score was 106-80, guys. All right, what can you expect from a team in the fourth quarter but to lay down like that when they're getting drugged and they're making horrible? I mean, look. Minnesota shot 50% from the field that game, while Denver shot 34.9% from the field that game. Like, how you know that's not going to happen all the time? Even though Minnesota's defense is great. All right, because Minnesota did come out shoot 39.4% from 3. Denver shot 30% from 3. Minnesota had 12 turnovers. Denver had 19. 19 turnovers, guys, and that tells you a lot. And then the rebounding battle, Denver did win it 50-42, but you can't have no 19 turnovers think you're gonna win a game. Not in the NBA, not in the playoffs. I don't care if you're at home, mile high, all that don't matter. Altitude, don't care. All right. So then game three, man, Mike Malone actually came out and did what a great coach does, man. I'm not gonna lie. I salute to the Nuggets coach. He made a lot of adjustments. Nuggets won 117-90. First quarter, Denver won 28-20. Second quarter, Denver won 28-21. And you see, the key is to keep Minnesota for Denver to come out and play strong defense and just run the regular ball like they normally do. Jokic only had 24 points in this game for a reason. When he scores 30 plus points, the team isn't flowing the way it needs to flow. He's somebody that needs to be scoring around the 24, 28, no more than 29 points. When you see him score 30 points, man, they in trouble that game. Okay, so then you look at the third quarter. Denver came out, did what they do. 37 points in the third quarter. Minnesota only 25 points. All right. And then in the fourth quarter, Denver only scored 24. Minnesota scored 24. But it was over already by then, guys. I mean, they had already taken these kids' hearts. Okay. And if you just look, like I keep telling you, the reason I'm going over these quarters is so you could understand how the game flow has been. Literally, if you can see how the scoring goes, then you can kind of predict the rest of the game, guys. All right, and that first quarter is key. You got to see how Minnesota comes out. They can't come out and score 20 points, 24 points, and give up 28. All right, I know that's not like a big variance, but if you score 20 and they score 28 in the first quarter, then you score 21 in the second quarter, and they score 28 in the second quarter, now you down a total of 17 points, man. All right, like it's not hard. It's not hard at all. I'm sorry, not 17, 15 points, guys. 15 points. When you down 15 points a half, and then you let them score 37 points in the third, it's over. It's over, man. And that's what Denver has to do in order to win this game. So Denver came out and shot 53.8% from the field, where Minnesota shot 43.7% from the field. Denver shot 48.3% from three, while Minnesota only shot 30.3% from three. Okay, now Denver, once again, only had 11 turnovers, and Minnesota came out and had 16 turnovers. When you see these large amounts of turnovers happening, man, it's a wrap. Look at the rebounds. Rebounds, Denver, 40. Minnesota, 32. Okay, and if you notice, in game two, Denver won the rebounding battle in that game, but lost the game. Okay, but if you saw the turnovers, the amount of turnovers they had, that's why it happened. Like, you got to pay attention to the signs, guys. Got to pay attention to the signs. So when you're looking at these two teams, you got to look at the injury report first and foremost. Well, hold up. Before I even get to the injury report, what happened in the post game, guys? All right, so Mike Malone said that I asked them, did they believe that we could go to Minnesota and play against a great team and win 2 games? We got one. Now the challenge is, can we repeat the same performance and get another one against the same great team? All right, now that was pretty darn good. You come out and challenge your team like that, and the way they responded, man, like I said, you got to salute Mike Malone. It was definitely a great adjustment. All right, now Ant Edwards pointed the finger at himself for not bringing enough energy into what turned into a 27-point loss in Game 3. But the Timberwolves star guard said that he and his teammates would not hang their heads in the Game 4. There's no reason to be negative. They won one game. We're going to try to win the next game. It's the first to 4 wins, guys. It's not the first to 1. All right. If it was the first one to win, we'd already won the series and we'd be all right. Now, Nuggets, we all knew. We know they're led by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's got to stay hot. He scored 25 points on 9 of 32 shooting in his first 2 games in the series. Anybody bounced back with 24 points, shooting 11 of 21 for 21 in Game 3, and that's what they need from him. All right. Murray said the booze helped him instead of hurting him. That definitely fueled me during the game and just keeps me in that mode. So it's fun. I embrace the challenge. Now, we've been good all year at when we take it down. We learn from it and just adjust really quick. Okay, our guys take it personal, get angry, and somehow flip a switch. Say it's not going to happen again with that type of attitude, man. That's what Mike Conley says. He remains very confident coming into this game 4 atmosphere, despite the fact that if they lose this game, boy, they are in trouble. I mean, if they lose this game, they got to go back to Denver, and then they got to I don't know. I just this is to me, this is the fulcrum for Minnesota right now. This is the pivot point. This is where it all comes down to. So let's go ahead and let's talk about injury report. So you're talking about Denver. We all know Reggie Jackson's questionable. He's hampered by that left calf contusion, and it's unclear if he'll be active. All right, for Game 4 for the Western Conference semifinals, KCP, he's still questionable with the ankle sideline with left ankle sprain. It's undetermined if he'll suit up in Game 4, and we all know Jamal Murray's managing that left calf strain, and it remains to see if he'll play, but we know he's going to play, guys. We know KCP is probably going to play. I'm not sure about Reggie Jackson, but we know Murray and KCP going to play. And then when you talk about Minnesota, it's not really anything new. Alexander Walker's questionable, managing a left shoulder injury, and it remains to be seen if he will play against the Nuggets in this Game 4 matchup, guys. Of course, we all know that Jalen Clark, he's been out. Okay, so when you're talking about these two teams, another thing you got to pay attention to is how they've been playing head-to-head. So straight up, in the last 10 games, it's 5-5 even. It's 7-3 against the spread to Minnesota, and it's been 5 over, 4 under with 1 push. Now, so far this season, guys, they have played each other a total of 7 times, and in the last 7 times they played each other, Minnesota has won 4 out of the 7. And then when you look against the spread in the last 7, Denver's only covered twice. Okay, now, yes, normally Minnesota's getting points, all right, but Denver's only covered twice in the last 7 times that they played each other, all right, and then when you look over-under in the last 7, it has gone 4 to the under and 3 to the over, all right, in the last 7 times they have played each other. All right. Now, what's key to remember is when the way these two teams have been playing coming in here. So coming into this play so far in this playoffs in the last 10 games, if you go into the regular season, it's been 4 to the over and 6 to the under for the Denver Nuggets. And for Minnesota, it's been the inverse. It's been 6 to the over and 4 to the under in the last 10 going back into the regular season. So how much does that mean? Not much to me, because at the end of the day, these are two of the best defensive teams in the NBA playoff left. All right. When you're looking at situationally, though, all right, just to get you some situational numbers right now, on the playoffs, Denver's 5-3. We all know Minnesota's only lost 1 game. On the season, Minnesota's 32-12 straight up, and Denver is 26-18 on the road straight up, guys. All right, now as an away underdog, Denver is 5-6 straight up on the season, whereas a home favorite, we know Minnesota's 29-11. Now against the spread, as a home favorite, Minnesota is only 16-22-2, so they don't cover. And as an away underdog, Denver is 6-5, so they do cover when you give them a couple points in this current situation, guys. All right, whereas Minnesota struggles in this situation to cover whatever the point spread is. All right, they might win. They do win this situation, but they don't really cover a lot in this current situation. All right, and then when you look at the playoffs, Denver is only 3-5 against the spread, whereas Minnesota's 6-1. Now that's because they was undefeated. All right, coming into this last game. Now when you look over-under as far as on the season, as a home favorite, it's 18 to the over, 21 to the under with 1 push, whereas as an away underdog, okay, it's 4 to the over and 7 to the under. So Denver's going to lean on defense, Minnesota's going to lean on defense. Notice Minnesota's numbers, 18 to the over, 21 to the under, and 1 push. That actually, if you look just at the correlating numbers between the against the spread and the straight up, you can see a trend to where, yes, they don't cover, but the game goes under because their defense helps them win the game. So the straight up win, don't cover, but the defense keeps them in the game to go under. You got to remember that this has been a full season. It ain't just been the playoffs. You got to look at how these two teams actually play consistently, because consistency in numbers, and the more data you have, the better it is, guys. I'm just saying. So as far as over-unders in this playoff. It's 2 to the over, 6 to the under for Denver, and it's 4 to the over, 3 to the under for Minnesota Timberwolves, guys. All right, right now in this last 3 games, right? So Denver scoring 98.7 points per game, giving up 100.7 points per game. All right, and you know what's the inverse for Minnesota? Minnesota scoring 100.7 and giving up 98.7. Now, it has been some very large wins in this series. That's why the margin, average margin, is set at that 2 points. Okay, because it's been 2 points like between the teams. Literally, if you just take out the big variance of the blowouts that have happened in this series, guys. And I expect there to be a lot of defense in this game, like a lot. Both teams got to come out here and lock in. You can't let them come out here and score them 39 points in a quarter and 33 points in a quarter while you scoring or 20, and you can't let them score 28 while you're scoring 20. You got to lock in. If you scoring 20, they can't score but 24. All right? If it gets outside of that, then man, look for some in-game bets on either side. All right, because that's the way this series has played out thus far. All right, remember, guys, you're talking about as far as offensively, right? Minnesota's number 2 offense in all of the playoffs, scoring 114.2 points per game. All right, and Denver is number 7 offense. Okay, only scoring 103.1 points per game in the playoffs. So they've been struggling, whether or not you consider the fact they was playing the Lakers, who was playing some defense, and Minnesota, who plays great defense as well. Or not, Lakers weren't playing defense. They was trying to run up and down the court, but they did do better defensively than I anticipated. All right, we'll call it like that. All right, but also remember that when you talk about defensively, okay, Denver right now, out of the teams left in the playoffs, they are the 6th ranked defense in the NBA, only giving up 104.3 points per game in the playoffs, whereas Minnesota is the 3rd best defense left, only giving up 101.3. Hence why this over-under is set at 204.5, man. Add that up. 101.3 plus 104.3 comes up to 204. Okay, so that's why it's at 204.5. Okay, I'm sorry, it comes at 205. Like that's why you get that 204.5, guys, right there. That's just to give you a little peek behind the curtain where they get these numbers from and why they even thinking like that. Because it's going to be some defense, guys. It's going to be some defense. So where are we at? What do we like? Where are we seeing? What are we seeing? So the Nuggets have won each of their last 5 playoff games as road underdogs. The Timberwolves have lost 13 of their last 23 games as home favorites against Northwestern Division opponents following a loss. The underdogs have covered the spread in each of the Nuggets' last 7 games, and the Timberwolves have failed to cover the spread in 5 of their last 6 games as home favorites against Northwestern Division opponents. Whereas the Timberwolves have won each of their last 6 games following a loss. The Nuggets have lost each of their last 4 road games against Northwestern Division opponents after winning as underdogs. Okay, the Timberwolves have covered the spread in 8 of their last 9 playoff games. Okay, and the Nuggets have failed to cover the spread in each of their last 4 road games against Northwestern Division opponents after winning as underdogs. All right, so 7 of the Timberwolves' last 8 home games against Western Conference opponents have gone over the total points line. Each of the Nuggets' last 4 Western Conference semifinal road games have gone over the total points line. I anticipate this game to be about defense. I do see there will be there will be scoring. Okay, there will be scoring regardless of that low ass total. Excuse my language, but yeah, if I'm taking points, I'm definitely taking Denver with the 3.5 or 4 points. As far as I would take Minnesota money line because I think Minnesota does have a chance to win this game, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get there on that, guys. But if I was going to actually play Minnesota, I would not play on minus 3.5. I would play them money line. Okay. And then as far as the over under, like I said, I'm leaning towards the over. I know there's going to be a lot of defense in this game, but I'm not seeing how you're going to hold these 2 teams to like 100 points. I just don't. I don't see that happening. I think Minnesota's going to come out with a vengeance. They're going to play defense, but they got to score. Like it's plain and simple. They got to score and they got to find another way to do it. They can't do it the same way they been doing it with just having one man handle the ball. They have to actually spread the ball around, pass the ball, it don't come down just shoot threes either. All right, like don't get caught up in that game because that's really gonna put it down. I mean, that's playing into Denver's wheelhouse, guys. All right, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Everybody have a blessed day. Stay safe. Prayers to all my family members up there in North Florida. And happy Mother's Day. Peace.